When I decided to get a metal turning lathe, I was worried about underbuying the capabilities that'll let me produce things that I could actually use. But it turns out that the Jet BD-920W belt drive lathe has everything I need in terms of capabilities, durability, and accuracy. And when it comes to equipment like this, I want something that's going to last a long time, and the Jet sure seems to fit that bill. The first thing I noticed was the hardened steel ways that keep everything moving straight and true. I also like that all the controls I need are right up front and easy to get to. I still have to learn to use them correctly, but the layout makes that easier. Despite its space-saving footprint, the Jet BD-920 has all the tooling movement and the controls of those movements logically located. And that includes a threading dial and control that lets us cut 30-inch threads and 18 metric threads. The power tool movement and threading both depend on this lead screw that's very accurately made. The lead screw is an important part of any lathe, but gives this machine a little bit more accuracy and versatility. This control allows us to cut normal or reversed or left-handed threads. And here we can see the step pulleys that give this machine a wide spindle speed range. Below that is the gear train for cutting threads, and we'll look at this closer in a separate video. To reduce the shock on the belt, this machine has a tensioning lever that you engage after starting the motor, and that applies tension to the belt. Most lathes have a threading chart like this on them someplace, and this can be a little frightening. But as I said earlier, we're going to do a separate video on threading, and we'll show you why this chart shouldn't be all that intimidating. This dial controls the speed of the lead screw through the quick change gearbox. You get 9 extra gears with the lathe to let you set it up for the specific threads you want to cut. The green start or power button is always illuminated when the machine's plugged into power. Above that is a switch that lets you reverse the spindle should that be necessary. And above that, where it's easy to get at, is the push button stop switch. To restart the machine, you have to turn this switch to let it pop out. And anytime you want to stop it, just bump this switch and that shuts the motor off. One of the things that lets you make extremely smooth and consistent cuts with the Jet BD-920 is this power drive. You flip it on and it moves the carriage smoothly along the piece, and you shut it off when you're at the end of the cut. In most cases, the depth of the cut is adjusted using this cross-slide control. That control has this repositionable dial that lets you zero it out when you make the first cleanup cut. After that, you can dial in the amount of cut that you want to take each time and do it accurately. And the way they have this set up is that if you set this to take off 5 thousandths, it'll actually take 10 thousandths off of the piece because you're taking 5 thousandths off all the way around. I think this is a much easier arrangement for you to sneak up on the exact size that you want. The tool holder base can be turned and adjusted from side to side to accommodate virtually any kind of cutting tool or attachment you could use on this lathe. The heavy-duty tailstock has a graduated scale on the outside of the spindle and a number 2 Morse taper inside that accepts most common tooling. And when you withdraw the plunger all the way, the tooling is ejected rather than having to be pounded out. The tailstock base allows you to offset the spindle by up to 5 degrees to the front or rear for making long tapered cuts. Jet includes this 4-inch scrolling chuck, and that means that when you turn the key, all 3 of the jaws tighten down at once. These jaws have steps for grasping the inside of tubular type stock, but Jet gives you another set of jaws for grasping the outside of rounded stock. And that gives this chuck and machine a huge range of capabilities. You also get a 7-inch chuck with 4 independent jaws. The individual jaws make it easier to grasp oddly shaped materials or to do off-center turning. And they also include this faceplate that gives you even more options. Included with the lathe is this follow rest that's attached directly to the main carriage. The 2 fingers prevent the piece from distorting when pressure is applied by the cutting tool up front. And because it's mounted directly to the carriage, the fingers follow the cutting tool along the workpiece. You also get this freestanding work support that's used when you're turning long pieces and prevents whip when you're applying pressure with the cutting tool somewhere in the middle of the piece. This additional support is crucial in making accurate cuts elsewhere on the long piece. Standard equipment with this machine is this rock-solid 4-position tool holder. The only real downside to this is that changing tools can take a little bit longer than some of the other options. A very popular option comes with the 12-piece mini turning tool kit. This is a quick change tool post that uses inserts to hold individual tools. Each of the tool holders has its own height adjustment that makes swapping them out and getting it set up again very quick. So if you're looking for a very capable metal turning lathe for your home or small business shop, you have to take a look at the Jet BD-920W belt drive lathe. This may be considered an entry-level lathe, but has a lot of capabilities for the price.